if I start 45, it's really good. So you start there, that engages your shoulder, and so you'll see most of the good players will turn their left hand backwards. Forehand, you'll tend not to turn too much. It's about stability. That will be a power position rather than just here. And the whole body's not engaged. So I love back foot. Back foot forehand's fantastic because this hip comes around and it goes pretty well. Gary Peterson here. Today we're going to look at your left hand for a forehand drive. A lot of people don't quite know what to do with their left hand. What happens is they swing and they'll put it here and it'll just be like it's dead when they swing. Well, I've got a system which works really, really well, and it'll allow you to control the ball and control your body and feel really well balanced, because at the end of the day, that's what your left hand is for. It's really just for balance. So here, what we're going to do is, if I place my left hand out pointing towards the front wall, here, and I hit, that's pretty much what's going to happen and how it works. We've got a system that gets towards that. So my system is really this. We start with a 45-degree stance because that's what we normally do. If I put my left hand out at 45 degrees, that's roughly where you sort of need it. But the problem is it's in the way, so it's a little bit difficult. So if I start at 45, it's really good. But so the way we get around that is, instead of having your hand straight out 45, if you leave your shoulder and you turn your arm backwards, your hand then goes towards the front wall. So if your left hand is towards the front wall, and then you're going to bring your left hand in when you swing. So you start there, that engages your shoulder, and that gives you that 45-degree stance that I stand at. So if I stand here, 45, it's really good. It's a really strong position to be in. But now my left hand's in my view, and that turns it out. So you'll see most of the good players will turn their left hand backwards, and the palm will actually be pointing up to the ceiling, or even towards the side wall is all right. So palm to the side wall is pretty good as well. So that works really well. So it's from here, 45 degrees, turn your left hand back is what's going to happen. So there, and that's how it will work. Okay, so the reason why this works is because we're going to use this muscle here against this muscle. So if you see some people volley when they learn to volley first of all, they'll volley and they'll volley like this. So they'll volley one hand into the other. And what that's doing is taking out body turn. So we don't have that big body turn. The last thing you want to do on your forehand drive, by the way, is turn too much. You don't actually turn too much on your forehand compared to your backhand. So backhand, you'll turn a lot, you'll turn through, and you'll turn a long way. Forehand, you'll tend not to turn too much when you drive. So I won't turn too much when I drive through on a forehand. So you have much less turn on a forehand drive than you do on a backhand drive. So with your left hand, and your left hand is out here, towards this point here. So we're going to use, if we do a volley, we'll go from here. And if I do that, if I just bring my hand, one end against the other, see how stable you are? And that's what it's all about. It's about stability. It's about stability, so that works really well. But we can't do that when we swing, because this is just really messy. It's just really messy to do that. It doesn't work. So what we do is we put our left hand out there, we turn it backwards, and we bring it into our side when we hit. So it comes in like this. So if I swing there, it will just come through there. And that will work really well. Oops, lost that one. All right, so that's basically what we're after. We're after not turn too much on your forehand. And you want to start with your left hand out. Start it out there, then turn it backwards. That will get it right, and your shoulder should come in. So we really need to get that in. If I have an engaged body and I look for a lot of power in my swing, I'll do that. So it'll be just like that. There. That will be a power position rather than just here. And the whole body's not engaged. All of a sudden, if I bring that in, that's an engaged body. You see my left leg? It bends, everything gets really strong, and your whole body engages through the ball. So what we want to do is we want to have our left hand, we want to have it out towards the front wall, we want to turn it backwards and bring your shoulder in. And then when we swing, I'll show you the mechanics really slowly. I'll take your racket around, left hand will come up, you'll go out that way, you'll bring it around here, you'll then turn, your elbow will come through, and then you'll hit off your back hip and you'll swing through as your left hand comes into here. So my left hand has gone from there into here, just gone in there. And then I'll swing through and I'll finish, and that'll be the turn. So my whole turn has gone from hips to finish here. and my hips started at 45. So you go 45 to there, and it's about right. Generally, if you hit off this hip, you'll find it works really well as well, but that's another video. So we'll go through that. So there's your left hand for a forehand drive. There's not much difference for a volley, so if I'm there, I'll basically just use my left hand out there. So you'll just have your left hand out to the front wall, and you bring it in a little bit. So you bring it in a little bit with a volley, and you might keep it higher instead of bringing it in down here. Generally what happens with the volley, if the volley's up there, your left hand will be up there. So then you'll hit that there, and you might only bring your left hand down to here. But if the ball's down here, your left hand will be down here. So that'll come to there, and you'll just bring that into here. And you get that one against the other with enough body turn to get what you want. The ball's here, you go from here, and you'll hit to there, and you might leave your left hand a little bit higher instead of dropping it right back in here. So you don't always have your left hand exactly in the same spot for every single shot. Once again, for a drop shot, you'll go here, and your left hand will be there, and you might just bring it in there. And that will happen as part of the drop shot. Same thing, both here. You might turn out a little bit more, but your boast won't do much different than that. It'll just come into here. So that's what you do with your left hand for a forehand drive. It changes a little bit. There's not much difference for back foot. Sorry, we'll go back just through that quickly. So I love back foot. Back foot forehand's fantastic because this hip comes around. So from there, the left hand will start there. Once again, your body's still engaged at 45 degrees. Your hips are around about this way now instead of around this way. So your hips go to the sidewall, left hand goes out there, and once again there, 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 and it goes pretty well. Okay, so there you go. That's your left hand there, there. So your left hand back foot, sorry, your back foot forehand volley, there, there. And you will do a little bit of that, but you'll tend to stop that about there, and you stop your follow through. So your left hand's a pretty good thing to actually use. Use it for balance, use it for everything you've possibly got. You don't have to go and, just the last thing I'll say to you is don't do this. Don't start swinging your left hand behind you. It doesn't work. There's too much body turn. You've got to get rid of some of that body turn on your forehand drive. Once again, back foot, you don't turn around this way. So you just don't want that to go behind you. You want to use it like an anchor. If you can use it like an anchor, use it as a stationary position to actually work against, you'll find it'll work really, really well. There you go. There's your left hand for your forehand drive.